Wake up! Wake up to the static in my veins. Pricelines throwing shapes like yesterday's remains. Another sunrise painted gold across the screen. Chasing patterns only traitors ever see. The fear, the doubt, they echo in the lows. But every day becomes the ground where purpose grows. So light the charge, ignite the spark inside my chest. The market breathes and so do all the dreams we can. We're not built from fear, only lessons learned from every downward year. It won't stand clear, 'cause the break we've waited for is slowing now. Good morning, crypto, rise with the echo. All fall down when the candles go gold. Break through the shadows, no matter the charcoal. We breathe in the future, we're ready to hold. Good morning, crypto, lift every window. Let the new day cut through the cold. We stand unshaken, foundations unbreaking. A higher high waiting, a breakout finds out. Heartbeat pacing with the rhythm of the trade. Another move, another risk, we aren't afraid. We've seen the storms, the crash, the silent wind tide stain. But struggle carves the shape of every coming spring. We don't chase chance, we build conviction through the fades in the advance. Hold fast from stance, this is the moment where belief becomes a dance. Built from fear, only forge the bodies that got us here. Stand tall, chronic, the dawn is breaking louder than the atmosphere. Good mind with the echo, let the world feel the shift in the fold. Break through the shadows, no matter the charcoals. We carry the courage we've learned from the lows. Good morning, crypto, open the window. Sunlight tracing the lives we uphold. Every vitation built from dedication. Higher highs calling a future let's go. Hold on tight, the waves will crash, the screens will shake. But all great moves are born from give and take. In every fall, a rally waits beneath the ache. A brighter day, a stronger step we choose to make. Thoughts are slow, dropped and shallow rain. Rise up now, let the charge hear your vow. We rode back down, not now, not now. Good morning, crypto, rise with the echo. Courage burns brighter than the gold. Stand with the shadows, trip through the pencil. We rise with the force and we've learned to hold. Good morning, crypto, this is the window where passion and purpose unfold. Stronger than ever, together we sever the chains of the past. We break through the threshold. A new blood flash, a new day ends. Good morning, let's begin again.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up. 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 Today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. I know it's been a little while since I went live. We got a decent amount of snow here in Nebraska, so I was making some snow removal money, and it had me in bed for a few days afterwards. They were extremely long nights, so I'm glad to be back. And I haven't paid a whole bunch of attention to the charts until yesterday, so I don't really have a whole lot of news today, but we are going to do a whole lot of charting. I can go live for an hour again. I am off work for the foreseeable future because you can't move dirt when there's no dirt to move. So if you've got any alt requests or TA requests or anything you'd like me to take a look at today, go ahead, start dropping them in the chat now, and we will get those on the list. But before we get to a bunch of TA, you know what I got pulled up in the background? It's that stock heat map, and we're seeing just a little bit of movements this morning. So let's get that pulled up. We've got Apple continuing on a downward slide from yesterday. It was down 0.71%, looking down 0.13 this morning. We've got Nvidia also seeing a little bit of sell-off yesterday, but seeing a little bit of a comeback this morning. It is up 0.43%. We got Berkshire Hathaway looking quite neutral this morning, up 0.08. We've got Amazon up 0.12. Eli Lilly sitting down 0.54. We've got ExxonMobil looking a little bit green this morning, up 0.16. Tesla up 0.6 this morning after a very green day yesterday. We've got PNG looking a little bit neutral today, up 0.07. We've got Microsoft up 0.4 right now. Google up 0.34, and Meta wrapping that one out up 0.8 after a very red day yesterday. I see a few requests coming in already. Just missed Microsoft FUD to dump the market for a bit. Hey, I did some buying last week, so looking like I got some nice entries. We are waiting for a little bit more moves towards the upside, but might do a little more buying with some of my snow removal money. Let's see. Nuclear stocks. We can definitely take a look at a few of those. I saw a few of those got some nice moves, so let's take a look at some nuclear stocks. We've got ADA on that list as well. We will get that one on the crypto side. I see ABTC as well. So ADA and then ABTC. We can take a look at both of those. South Carolina for work, 30 degrees this morning. Dang. It is 4 degrees here. So it's definitely a little bit colder where I'm at. Let's see. We've got the crypto side of things looking quite mixed as well. And not too unexpected. We did get some nice moves towards some levels we were calling out on Bitcoin last week. Then we started a little bit of sideways movements, and the markets normally do a little bit of green and a little bit of red when Bitcoin starts to move a little bit sideways. So getting on down into this one, we've got Bitcoin looking neutral on the daily. Ethereum up 3.7, XRP down 1%, continuing to see just a little bit of red on that hourly. We've got BNB up 1.1, Solana also sitting up 1.1. We've got Tron down up 0.2. We've got Doge sitting down 0.3. We've got Cardano up 2.2%, not back above that 50% range, but we've got several levels to keep our eye on. When we get to that ADA chart, we've got Bitcoin Cash down 1.9%. We've got Chainlink up 0.3. We've got Hyperliquid up 3%. Leo token looking quite green. up 3.4%. Stellar Lumens sitting a little bit to the downside, down 0.8. We've got Litecoin down 1.5. Avalanche taking 2 spots in the market cap, sitting up 4.7%. Took one of those spots from SWE and one of those spots from HBAR. SWE sitting down 2.2 and HBAR falling outside of that top 20, sitting down 3.1%. For the fear and greed meters, we've made our way out of extreme fear on the stock market, sitting at 31, still a little fearful. Definitely not a bad time to do some buying. I always like to buy when there's a little bit of fear and you've gotten some decent pullbacks. For the crypto side of things, we're just outside of extreme fear. A little bit of a pullback. We will have to see if we can get some money flow coming on in, really push us above our current resistance here. Let's see what's going on those liquidation heat maps. We did change this to 0.8 for that liquidity so we could see things just a little bit better here. And we've got liquidity on both sides of us here on the shorter term time frame. We've got some directly above us at 94,500, ranging all the way down to 94,200. For the bottom side, we've got some liquidity starting at 92,500, ranging all the way down to 91,600. We'll kind of have to see which direction this money flow starts to send us today. We do have this 3-day also looking quite nice. If we can clear out some of that shorter term time frame liquidity on the bottom side, we could make our way up to this top side liquidity that's sitting at 94,500. Keep your eye on some of that. We do have that 2-week also looking a little bit nice. We've been talking about a lot of top side liquidity. We'll have to zoom this out one more time to really view it. The real bottom side liquidity is all the way back down at some levels we called out, and that's $83,000 all the way down to about 82,600. So keep your eyes on some of that if we start to lose some key levels around us. Zoom this on out. Take a look at that 1 month real quick. Little Fish saying it is -4. Whew. You've got me beat on the cold there. I'm definitely glad it is not that cold, but it will definitely be getting that cold here soon. So you're probably a little bit north of me. Let's see what else we got. We got JR in the chat this morning. Good morning, good morning. Zoom this on out to the 1 month. We've got some liquidity back up at the highs. We will just have to see if we can get above our local resistance first, really reclaim a key level here around that $100,000 area before we can make our way back up to that. But let's get over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the people in the chat. We've got several people that were in here early. We got Crypto Bedell in here. Good morning, good morning. We've got Jesse in the chats as well. Good morning to you. Let's see who else we got. We got Al Jr. in the house. We've got Loco for Crypto, aka Donato Cabrera. Let's see who else. We've got Rug Pullin' Rabbit, also known as J-Tum. Let's see. We've got Steve Hickey in here. We've got, scrolling on down, we've got Jack Pleo. Hopefully I got that one right. We've got Luke I in the house. Let's see who else we got in here. Scrolling on down, we've got JR in the house, and we've got All Set in here as well. Good morning, good morning. Of course, it's extra cold in Canada, JR. No one is surprised about that one. He said it is -3. So I'm assuming you're not doing a whole lot. Let's get this one zoomed out to the daily. We were calling out a level for some upside resistance here. Once we got back above our fair value gap, we got some nice continued bounces on that 382 after a little bit of a pullback there. Bounced right back up towards our resistance at 93,800. That was an area we were potentially looking for a little resistance at. we wanted to see us get above that, really turn it into some support if we wanted to see any kind of continuation towards the upside, back towards our support line that we saw the whole bull market. JR saying it's actually a warm day. Sir, that does not sound good at all. If -4 is warm, I don't even want to be in Canada during the winters at all. That sounds absolutely terrible. Why do people live there? Like, that's too cold for anyone. But I'm also not a fan of our like 4 degrees right now. So yeah. I'm trying to eventually move somewhere extra warm and extra nice, like year round, and that might be out of America, but we will have to see what I can convince the lady to do. We are seeing a little bit of some positive signs here on the daily as well. Gotta ask Alexo Crypto why he lives there. Hey, I've been working really hard in the background to try to convince him to move to America because he wouldn't have to pay so much in taxes. And we've also got some nice freedom things that you can do in certain states. I was trying to convince him to move to Texas because he wouldn't have any state income tax. But we will see on that one. I think he's going to stay in Canada for a while, even though he hates paying all those taxes as a very successful trader. But we are seeing some positive signs here on the daily. We've got that MACD line breaking above our indicator line. We're starting to see just a little bit of stagnation on that. We will need some new money flow coming on in. This has just been a little bit of absorption here. We have been seeing outflows pretty much across the board, and that daily money flow is looking extremely red. But for now, we are getting a little bit of curvature to the upside on that prime oscillator as well, and a little bit of some volume increase. So we will have to see if we can hold some support lines and make a higher low here. I would look for a little bit of a bounce down at the bottom side of our fair value gap. We are looking for a little bit of some sideways movements here. We've talked about this before. We pull this over and over again when we start to see the end of bull runs. So as you can see down here, this was that 2021 run when you got that secondary higher high here and you dropped down. You got some nice sideways momentums here. So nice little sideways movement here, and if you look at this bigger range, we've got a big sideways movement here that kind of starts from the lows from that initial sideways movement. So we'll kind of have to see if we're going to range a little bit sideways here. Bitcoin does this quite a lot before it likes to grab up the last little batch of liquidity and then continue that move towards the downside. So I am potentially looking for the rest of this year really just being some sideways movements before we grab up a little bit of liquidity and then continue on towards the downside, unless we can really see something positive coming out of the Fed and a decent rate cut. So we would need something like a 50 basis points, and then the end of QE or the end of QT starting quantitative easing. So both of those in combination, you might get a little bit of a better relief rally than we are kind of looking at here on Good Morning Crypto. So we will keep our eyes on that. It is looking like we have a very decent chance for a 25 basis points rate cut. We would need something just a little bit higher. So we would need some extremely bad news coming out of those job numbers. Zooming on in here, taking a look at this 4-hour. As you can see, we've done this before. Let me get my kill zones moved off of here. It is clogging up that chart. All right, we've seen this before in our current position here. We've got a little bit of sideways momentum coming in at our resistance. We saw pretty much the same thing right here before we bounced off that midline of our fair value gap, came back up towards our resistance area and saw some harsher rejections. Kind of looking like we're seeing a very similar movement here. Came up towards resistance, got a little bit of a sweep above it on the shorter term time frames before we drop back down below it. Really waiting to see if we get another little bounce off of the top side of our fair value gap, get that better push up towards our resistance area, and a stronger rejection towards the downside of our sideways movements here. We're seeing quite a bit of toppiness here on the 4-hour. We're getting some rollover on that MACD, same on that prime oscillator, but we are seeing just a little bit of some green money flow here. We will have to see if that money flow can hold us up at the top side of that fair value gap, give us a little bit of some cool off here on that prime oscillator and MACD before we get that harsher move towards the downside. This is more of the hot dog area, as Alex says, and these are the buns. So really looking to see if we break back down into this after a movement back up towards our resistance area. This is sideways movements within a larger sideways movement, so we'll keep our eye on that top side, really look for a stronger rejection back up at that 93,800 area. Zooming on in, taking a look at that hourly looking nice and cooled off here. We are waiting to see if we can get some reversal signals on our prime oscillator. We're seeing just a little bit of sideways momentum coming in on that MACD. We're really waiting for that sideways momentum to start on that prime oscillator as well. Money flow looking nice and green here on the hourly, but we've lost a lot of our volume, which is what you saw back here as well. When we got all of this sideways momentum, you had nice green money flow, but you lost a lot of your volume before you saw that nice volume pickup, move towards resistance, and a harsh dump with a very strong switch on money flow. So looking for kind of something similar here as we maintain this sideways momentum. We'll kind of have to see if we can get a little bit of some cool off on that prime oscillator and MACD with some continued holding of our buying power here on the hourly, and get that nice push back up towards resistance for that better correction back down. I know JR's been waiting for some downsides so he can at least break even on that soul trade that he was in, his macro trades that he does. So might get that chance here soon if we continue with this sideways momentum, continue to see our money flow kind of start to falter here, and then get that pickup of volume again and a harsher correction towards the downside after we reject off of resistance. Really looking like we've continued to hold this trend. That's been the movements here. We get up towards resistance, get a little bit of sideways momentum, get that push back up towards stronger resistance before a better correction. Really clear out that liquidity there. I added too soon. Yeah. But, you know, when you're also making money elsewhere, it doesn't really matter when that trade is going to play out eventually. Let's get over to that 15-minute. Keep clicking the 10-minute. There we go. As you can see, we've got that nice strong sideways momentum directly at resistance. Really getting a little bit of some cool off here on the 15-minute. We will kind of have to see if this peak seeker actually does play out, because we've got that peak seeker here on that prime oscillator, as that money flow really starts to switch from green to red here. Really waiting to see if we can at least maintain this a little bit longer, get a better cool off, continue with that either sideways momentum or get that stronger bounce below us to push back up towards resistance. That would give your hourly a better cool off as well before you get that really strong move towards the downside. Kind of looking to see if we break back down towards that 88,500 area. That is the bottom side of that fair value gap. We've been playing on a lot of these levels on this old fair value gap here. As you can see, we get those nice little bounces off the bottom side. We get those harsh rejections off of the top side. Really gets a lot of play off the midline as well. So definitely looking for this fair value gap to continue to play out if we reject off of that 93,800 again. We got Conspiracy Crypto in the house. Good morning, good morning. He said, when alt season? Never. Alt season has been canceled. I've been saying that since about 2024 when we got our little alt rally all together, and then really saw alts die. So don't think you're really going to get an alt season. You might get some alt waves with some nice little pushes towards the upside in certain sectors as money tries to rotate just a little bit before it rotates out. So I don't really think you see the alt season we've seen in prior cycles ever again. There's way too many of them, and people aren't really trying to play the same game that they did before. The reason you saw memes really pump last cycle was because their market caps were so low. There was such inactivity. It was very, very easy for a whale to come in and really push that towards the upside. Same thing you kind of saw with Zcash. Kind of a dead chain, not a whole lot of liquidity, not a big market cap. So it was very, very easy for whales to rotate in, push that towards the upside, and then you start to see some profit taking. We've got French Toaster in the house, and we got Redmond in here as well. Good morning, good morning. We did have a few alt requests. We had ADA and ABTC. And we had some nuclear stock requests. So let's get over to our alt page and take a look at some ADA first. Nice little move back up towards our resistance area, 45 cents. Let's get this zoomed on out so we can see it just a little bit better, see what's going on that higher term time frame, because we've got plenty of levels to really keep our eye on if we can continue with some movements towards the upside here. Daily is looking quite nice for a little bit of continuation if you can get some nice money flow coming in. We got that movement back up to 45 cents, really looking like we're seeing just a little bit of some rejections here. We would have to see if we can hold about 43-ish. That is the highs of the candle bodies here. We've got 43.5 coming in for that nice little short-term bouncing area. Let's get a horizontal ray drawn on up there. We would look to see if we can hold that. If not, really looking for some harsher lows there. So definitely seeing that 45.1 coming as some resistance. Would have liked to see that get back above that. So to see any kind of pullback would just give us that nice little bounce off of some support. Looks like that's not what is happening here. We do have some levels a little bit lower to kind of keep your eye on, but as you can see, that's pretty much bear market levels. And if we're going to continue further down on Bitcoin after some sideways momentum, it looks like you'd break levels on ADA you haven't seen since original cycles. So we do have some levels way down there to kind of keep your eye on. We'll kind of have to see if we break below bear market levels first. That is about 36 cents there that we'd keep our eyes on. Let's get that higher term time frame horizontal ray coming on in. Make that a little bit thicker so you know that's our stronger bouncing point. Looks about 36.6 to see that stronger bouncing. We got extremely close to those levels there. So looking like we could hit that level if we lose that 43. As you can see, every time we lose that 43.5, we really get that harsher move towards the downside there. So you are seeing just a little bit of positivity here as you're getting that MACD breaking towards the upside, but it's doing so with a little bit of sideways momentum. So we'll kind of have to see if this is going to be our sideways range here, but between 45 and 36 cents. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that hourly, see what's going on there. As you can see, we've got that nice little rejection off of 45 cents with a double top and then a nice little move towards the downside. We will have to see if this bearish divergence really plays out with some harsher divs, or if we just get that nice little bounce off of 43 cents. Try to continue back up towards our resistance before a harsher move towards the downside. A lot of that's going to depend on how Bitcoin moves. hourly looking a little bit cooled off. As you can see, we're very close to where we saw some reversals last time, but we can definitely continue down just a little bit further as we're starting to lose some of that volume here. We do have a little bit of sideways momentum coming in on that MACD. We will just have to keep our eye on that money flow on the shorter term time frames, see if we're going to get some bouncing at our support area, 43.5 cents, or if we're going to continue with some harsher corrections. We'll keep our eye on that 15-minute, see what's going on here. We're nice and cooled off here, starting to see some reversal signals, but not really getting any kind of continuation on the reversal at all. You've got a nice little bit of curvature back towards the upside here, but it's already starting to get some sideways momentum. Bear divs aren't really diving too hard here, so that is some good signs. We will see if we can get that bouncing at 43.5, really get that stronger move up. For now, it is looking like we're going to see a little bit of correction for now, really see if we get those bounces at 43. If not, with the higher time frames looking how they are, you could definitely get some stronger moves to the downside. Look for about 41 cents being that first little bounce zone down here. That's where we saw the lows coming on in. So 41 and about 41.5 cents being a nice little area to potentially see some bouncing at if we get that harsher correction and lose 43.5 cents there. We had ABTC requested as well. ABTC, American Bitcoin Corporation. Let's get over to the stocks for that one. ABTC, see what's going on with that. Extremely battered down, not too unexpected. We'll get this zoomed on out, take a look at that daily time frame, see if we can pull some fibs from somewhere. Continued on that downtrend. It has just been a massive sell-off for this one. Yeah, just continued sell-off its entire existence. Not too surprising. This is why I didn't play a lot of those Bitcoin companies when it came to the stock market. I prefer to just buy an actual company that provides an actual service. Maybe technology. Nuclear has been my big push here, but a lot of these Bitcoin companies have charts that look exactly like this. So let's see if we can get a fib pulled from our lows to our highs there. Got our very equal high coming in at $14.70. We are breaking below that platinum pocket, coming back towards the lows here. You do have your daily looking nice and bottomed here, and we're really looking to see if we can get some bouncing back at the lows. That would be 63 cents there for our one line on our fib retracement. We'll kind of have to see if we're going to close the CME gap first. We're looking a little bit bottomed here. Got our second reversal signal on the higher term time frame. Our bullish divergence didn't div at all. So watch this money flow on the higher term time frame. It is extremely red all over again. Your MACD is pointed back towards the downside, starting to print those bigger red candles on the histogram. You do have that market opening up pretty much exactly where it closed yesterday, looking like we do have plenty of resistance at the CME gap, and we'll kind of have to see if we make our way back towards it. Let's get that CME gap drawn on out for you. That's going from candle body to candle body here. Let's get that colored blue. That's what we color our CME gaps around here. Let's see, we've got that one coming on in. We've got that midline to kind of contend with first. That is going to be $3.17. We'll see if we can break above 275 first, though, as the bottom side of that CME gap. Let's see what's going on that shorter term time frame. Looking like we've got a nice little bottoming area. Our money flow is starting to slow down on that sell-off. We'll kind of have to see if this reversal signal gets that nice little pushback towards the upside here. We've got that MACD breaking above our indicator line, but doing so with a little bit of sideways momentum. Not too unexpected, as you're seeing a little bit of sideways momentum there. Really waiting to see if we can get some money flow to kind of change this up. So as we lose lose some of that harsh selling pressure. Really waiting to see if it can flip back to some heavy buying pressure, because if not, you're just going to see a little bit of continued sideways momentum before another little leg towards the downside. Kind of expected across the board on a lot of these companies that play that Bitcoin game. When Bitcoin moves a little bit sideways, they tend to move a little bit down or a little bit sideways as well. So definitely looking a little bit worrisome here. We do have that 15-minute and the morning looking like you could see that continued downside. You can get some cool off though with some continued sideways momentum here. So as you can see, we got a little bit of cool off with this sideways momentum. You are waiting to see what happens on the shorter term time frame as that MACD line's getting a little bit of curvature at that 0 line. You would need some better money flow to really come in to kind of switch this up here, because it is moving sideways just below that 0 line. You would need that money flow to come on in to get that next little curve back towards the upside here. We do have that very strong resistance at 275 to kind of contend with though, so could push you back towards the downside if you don't really see some strong money flow coming on in. And that would be looking for another lower low. So especially if Bitcoin's going to get that harsher correction towards the downside we were talking about, back towards our lower bun, you could definitely get some moves way down here at about $1.25. That is where we got some nice support before. Let's get that horizontal drawn on out for you so you can see that bouncing area just a little bit better there. Comes in at about $1.17, so that'd be that next real bouncing area to kind of keep your eye on there. Let's see, we got Mortimer Duke in the house, and let's see what else was that. Jesse with some negative news. I'm sorry about that one. Definitely a difficult one to deal with. Hopefully they caught it early enough, because with modern medicine, they've got a lot they can do to extend the life on that one. So hopefully you got some positive news coming out of the negative news. We will keep our eyes on that. Prayers out for Jesse. Let's see. We do have a few other stock requests to go over as well. We got any alt requests to go over. We only had ADA very early. We've got some other watchers here, so if you got some alt requests for me to take a look at, go ahead, throw those in the chat. We did want to take a look at a few nuclear stocks this morning, and that was requested, so let's get over to that portfolio. We've got SMR. We've been talking about that one. We did get some nice little bouncing off the midline of our CME gap. We were watching for that move once we got back towards the upside there. But let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at that daily. As you can see, just a little bit of sideways momentum on the top side of that CME gap. We did get that nice little bounce off in the midline. Really waiting to see if we can get some money flow coming on in, because we do see that red money flow here on the higher term time frame. We do have that prime oscillator pointing back towards the upside. MACD also breaking above our indicator line here. As you can see, when we've done this before, we get those very strong moves back towards the upside. We're very close to our support as well. So quite similar to what we're seeing across the board in nuclear. This was just a nice little sell-off. Really cool off those charts after massive moves towards the upside. As you can see, that last move towards the upside, we've got that coming in at 400%. So to see a move towards the downside of about 70% after a 400% move towards the upside is not too unexpected. We got extremely close to our support lines, and then we're really waiting to see if we can get some continuation of money flow coming on in. So we do have the hourly looking a little bit nice as well, but it is a little bit toppy here on the prime oscillator, so I would expect some movements back up towards our resistance at that 382. That's coming in at about $21.17. You could get a little bit of a better correction off of that to really cool off the hourly as we start to see some money flow coming back in on the shorter term time frame. We are right at resistance that we saw below that 382. We'll kind of have to see what happens with that pre-market open. If we get that continuation of money flow coming on in, really buying on up the nuclear stocks, you could get those movements back up towards our resistance. That's a little bit above the 382. That's coming in at about $22-ish. So keep your eye on that upside. We are starting to break into some green money flow, but we do need a little bit of some cool off here on the hourly if we really want to continue with some stronger moves towards the upside there. Let's get a look at that 15-minute, see what the morning might be bringing our way here. As you can see, we're extremely toppy here as well. Back up towards our resistance that we've been seeing. We will kind of have to see if we can get that break above. Pre-market is opening a little bit towards the upside, but it's not getting any kind of strong movements up with that pre-market. We are seeing a little bit of some green money flow, but you're looking just a little bit toppy here as well. You've got your reversal signal that's flashed. Would probably see another reversal signal flash here as that market opens. Really see that continued curvature back down. We've got that on the MACD as well. Starting to see just a little bit of sideways momentum coming on in, so we'll have to see if we can get that push back up towards our stronger resistance at about 2109 before we see that correction back towards the downside. First level I'd kind of look for some bouncing at directly towards the downside would be our highs down here at about $19.07-ish. Yeah, that's where we got those equal candle bodies. So we got our equal candle body here, candle body here, candle body here. We'll kind of have to see if we can hold about $19.14. If not, we've got that CME gap towards the downside to really keep your eye on. That's going to be about $18.66 there. So we had OKLO. I did do some buying on this one as well. We were looking to hold that golden pocket on the shorter term time frame. We did get those moves below. I did some buying at about 87 cents there. When does Alex go live? I wanted to try to go live for a bit after BC and before Alex. Well, I'm gonna bump up right against Alex, so maybe later, because I'm gonna redirect everyone directly to Alex from here. Since I have that change up at work, I'm able to really redirect directly towards Alex. Looking to see if he posted his video yet. Yep, looks like he just posted it. So after this, you'll be redirected directly over to him. He just needs to do an hour instead of 2. Well, talk to him about it, JR. But, you know, when it comes to morning trading and that New York session, sometimes you need the full 2 hours. So we'll kind of have to see. Yeah, he goes live at 8, so that's an hour. He's an hour ahead of me Eastern time, so looking like he's gonna go live for that 2 hours like always, and then it's Piper, and then you could potentially find a little bit of a window there, sir. So we've got OKLO with some nice movements off of our support areas. We were looking for that golden pocket to be our bouncing area. Got that nice little move directly towards it on the higher term time frame. As you can see, there are some wicks below that. That'd be a nice little clear out of some liquidity, really force anyone that jumped in a little bit down at that higher level to really kind of take a second look at it. So got those moves down to about 79. That was some nice little highs from back here. We'll kind of have to see if we can get some continuation here, as that daily is looking like nice and bottomed, and we never lost our green money flow. You're starting to get that curvature back up. You never really saw a reversal signal start to flash here, but the thing about OKLO is this has happened before plenty of times. We've got that nice little curve back towards the upside, no reversal signal, and continuation towards back up. Same thing here. You got that nice little sideways momentum off of your golden pocket before a harsher move towards the downside. No reversal signals flash, just a higher high, just a higher low, and then absolute blast off. So same thing you kind of see down here. You've got those movements towards the downside after a nice little move up. You don't get any reversal signals. You just get a higher low and then blast off. So OKLO does this over and over again. Not seeing a reversal signal doesn't worry me at all. We got those nice movements towards a key level, and then really waiting to see if we can get some nice money flow coming back in, because that's going to be our big holdup. As you can see, we get those strong movements of money flow coming on in here, and that really gives you that blast off. Really waiting to see if we can get that again. If not, could definitely look for a little bit of some harsher corrections. That's when I would kind of take some of that money off the table and wait for a lower entry. We do have those areas down here at about 69 to about 62. That'd be that next little buy zone for me. That's the lows from here and the lows here. That'd be a nice little area to kind of keep your eye on if we do continue with some harsher corrections towards the downside and lose that golden pocket. For now, it looks like that golden pocket is our support on the higher term time frame, really getting those moves back towards the upside, and we'll have to see if we can get some money flow to continue things on the shorter term time frame. And we've got that 4 hour looking quite nice as well. You've got that money flow really waiting to break into the positive buying here, as you've got that prime oscillator getting that curvature back towards the upside. You got that bullish divergence kind of diving just a bit off of that golden pocket, and we'll have to see if we can make our way back up to 105.65. That is at 382. That is that 50% line on our fib retracements there, and then we have some old CME gaps to kind of contend with. I would look for the midline at about 121 to be our extremely strong resistance. If we can get the switch up of money flow on the shorter term time frame here. So let's take a look at that hourly as well. Hourly is looking just a little bit toppy, but we do have that brief red money flow that is already curving back up towards the green. So definitely looking like you can get a little bit of continuation out of this one if you can continue to see that money flow coming back in. We have had extremely red money flow here on the shorter term time frame, and it looks like we might get that brief visit back into some green before a little bit of some corrections there. That's why I'd look for that 105 area to be our harsher rejection area, where we see just a little bit of cool off on the shorter term time frame, probably get some bouncing from our highs back here, and then try to continue towards the upside. If not, and you really see that harsher sell off coming on in with some extremely red money flow that breaks us into the red even on that daily, then that's where I'd look for some lower areas down here for some better entries. Lunar Beaches Crypto in the house. Get to work. What is work, LBC? I don't have that right now. It's winter. We can't move dirt in the snow. But let's see what's going on that 15 minute. And see if we're also looking a little bit toppy there. We are looking a little bit toppy on that prime oscillator. MACD, though, not looking toppy at all, as we're starting to create some more width from our indicator line here. We've got that pre-market opening up a little bit higher. We are looking just a little bit toppy on that prime oscillator. We've got those overbought signals starting to flash. We've got a reversal signal starting to flash. All that can be ignored if we continue to see this money flow coming on in. So we are looking for a little bit of a pullback in the morning before we get a little bit of continuation towards the upside there. So definitely looking a nice and bottomed here on OKLO. on the higher term time frames, and we'll just have to see if these shorter term time frames can show us that money flow coming on in that bleeds over into the higher term time frame. We do need that green money flow on that daily to really get those stronger pushes towards the upside. So that was what I got for OKLO. We did have another one to kind of keep our eye on here. Let's get over to my stock list. Down to the nuclear section, we were calling out another one of these. Where is it down here? LEU? Not that one. Which one was it that I was looking at a little bit earlier? It was this one. We have CCJ. This is breaking it back into a big CME gap here, looking to hold the bottom side of our CME gap quite nicely. Let's get this zoomed on out, show you what's going on that daily time frame there. Because as you can see, we're looking nice and bottomed here on the daily. We barely got some red money flow as we're getting that nice little curvature back towards the upside here. You've got that MACD line breaking our indicator line extremely strong here above our indicator line, starting to print those green candles, really pointing almost directly towards the upside there, holding that bottom side of that CME gap after a clear out of liquidity, really waiting to see if we can get above that golden pocket there. That is 91.97. That would give us that stronger movement towards the upside there on the higher term time frame. That is going to be a little bit of a resistance area on the shorter term time frame. We will have to see if we can get that continuation of money flow. That hourly is looking quite nice. As you can see, we've got that price holding up on the bottom side of that CME gap. We've got three little bounces there. Nice little movement towards the upside. You've got that pre-market opening up directly at our resistance all over again, and we'll have to see if we can get this continuation of money flow here on the hourly. We've got that curvature back up. We did get that bearish divergence that isn't divin at pretty much at all. We've seen this across the board here in our current little market situation as people are unsure about how things are going to act because the Fed is a little bit unsure. We don't have bear divs divin too hard. We don't have bullish divergences divin too hard either. People are just kind of waiting to see, and especially if you're going to get that rate cut, you're not really seeing QE just yet. They don't want to lose out on the chance that when QE happens, they are not in these assets at decent prices. But if we don't actually get QE in 2026, then that would be that point where you might see some harsher corrections there. So looking a little bit nice here on the hourly as you're trying to break above our indicator line here, really waiting for some kind of money flow. And that's why I'd kind of wait to see if you get that movement back up towards our golden pocket 92.06, really see that resistance coming on in at that point. Or if you can get above it, that's where you'd really see that switch up of money flow, give you some stronger moves back up towards our top side of our CME gap here. That's coming in at about $100 there. This is a giant CME gap. Looks like we did end up closing it out though, but we do have some smaller CME gaps within that CME gap that have not been closed yet. So that top side coming in is another CME gap from this move here, which is not closed out. So we'll have to get that one readjusted a little bit later. We'll keep our eye on that. 15-minute looking nice and bottomed here as you did get that nice harsh red money flow. You've got that MACD and prime oscillator looking like you could get a little more sideways momentum down here in that morning market open before you get that stronger move towards the upside there. So still looking for that golden pocket to come in as some resistance. We do need just a little more cool off on CCJ unless you really just see some crazy money flow coming on in there. So what's going on? Why does my channel say can't turn on notifications? Because it's made for kids. Oh, JR, doing things wrong, sir. You will have to get in there and change some settings around. Or you could just stream for kids, you know? Get them young, JR. And teach them how to make some money. Because if they don't learn how to do some of this, then they might be way more screwed than a lot of our millennial gen is. We've got all set saying, oh no, we had maybe a band-aid in the house. Good morning, good morning. Everyone reaching out to Jesse. Definitely some terrible news there. Hopefully you've got some positive news that comes out of that one. Same, JR. My alert is on. We got any last requests before we wind that show on down there? Change the settings. Good job, JR. Let's see. Any other alt requests before we wind this show on down? Cause if not, I didn't really have anything to look at besides gold. Let's see. We'll give you a last few seconds to kind of see, cause there's a delay. Where's username? I don't know. Oh, that old man's probably sleeping, cause it's still a little bit early. Let's see. Not seeing any alt requests. So let's take a quick look at gold, and then we will wind up. Libra, really, bro? I don't even think a Libra is on here. Uh, let's see. There is in the stock side. I guess this. Destroyed. There you go. Uh, Destroyed. Looking for lower lows. There you go. Let's see on the higher term time frame. Yeah, looking for lower lows. Look at that beautiful rug pull. It actually found some nice little bottoms. So hopefully people are trying to like see if they're gonna get a little bit of a push, but they're not, because projects that look like this, we call them rug pulls, and we don't tell people to buy them. So let's get back over to gold real quick, because gold has been making some moves. We got that nice move above 4,205. Really failed to hold our highs from back here. That would have been that key move to watch for if we wanted to continue to see any kind of movements towards the upside there. Didn't hold those highs from back here. Got that harsher correction back down to the midline of our fair value gap. That was that area we were watching for. Got a little bit of bouncing up back towards that 4-2 area, and then we're really seeing a little bit of sideways momentum coming in. That sideways momentum giving us a little bit of some cool off here on the hourly, but we're really failing to see any kind of money flow coming on in. As you can see, that money flow continuing to stay in the red. Your MACD and prime oscillator both getting a little bit of curvature here, so we could definitely see some harsher rejections on gold. BC, can you do folks token really quick? Yep, top down on TA on USDC. Let's see. We've got that rejection off of 4205 this morning on gold. Really trying to hold the top side of that fair value gap, but I would look for some harsher corrections on gold back down to about 4,155. See if we can get those bouncings off of there. That is a nice little area we have held on those higher term time frames. As you can see, we got some nice bouncing off of that on our candle bodies there. We will have to see if this 15-minute and the morning can give us a little bit of some cool off while we maintain this little bit of sideways momentum here. But we do have that ability to make some lower lows. Well, I appreciate it, LBC. Let's see. Folks token. It's an airdrop. Yeah. Let's see what's going on. 15-minute, getting a little bit of cool off here. We are seeing that money flow kind of break back towards the red. We'll see if we get that break below. If we break below the top side of that fair value gap, which it looks like we're trying to do right now, would look for some lower lows coming on in. As you can see, we are in a downtrend here. Would look for that nice little cool off way down there. As we continue to see those sell-offs across the board this morning. Bitcoin trying to make a little bit of a push towards the upside, but not really getting much of anything there. So nice little macro downtrend, as you can see, lower lows. Really waiting to see if we get that lower low here as well, as you have those higher lows on the higher term time frame. You've also got those on this shorter term time frame as well. So looking like gold could use a little bit of some cool off here. We'll have to see if it gets those stronger pushes down. Daily is looking quite topped on the charts, but also seeing a little bit of positive here on that prime oscillator. Volume is a little bit low, so looking like we've lost some of that buying pressure, but money flow staying green. So definitely looking like this is going to be our new range for now. On the macro, we do have these higher highs and higher lows, so looking for a higher low here somewhere. We'll kind of have to see if that comes in at about the top side or the bottom side of that fair value gap, 4,000, that 4,100 area, or if we're going to get that down there at about 4,100. So few areas to kind of watch for. I don't know what the ticker would be for Folks token. Let's see. Maybe this one. Kind of hard to tell. It is too new to really go off of a whole lot. Let's see what's going on the 15 minute. Get a fib pulled up from our lows to our high there. So this is an airdrop. It is a little bit iffy because kind of fails to really get some strong money flow coming on in. Let's see, golden pocket looking like a resistance area for now. We will have to see if we get that harsher pushback towards our platinum pocket. Trying to see a little bit of a movement back up towards our resistance at the golden pocket for now. Let's see what's going on about that minute time frame, so we can get a little bit of a better idea. Let's get that back there. There we go. MACD is getting a little bit of some sideways momentum at our zero line here. We're in a little bit of a downtrend. We'll have to see with that flagging out if it gives us that pushback towards the upside. We've got our strong resistance at $11.71 there. That has been the area we've seen that resistance coming in 3 times now. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn on up real quick for you. $11.73. We will see if we can get push back above our golden pocket. We've done this before. Flagging on out, push back up, flag on out, a little flag out, drop down, flagging on out. We'll see if we can get that push back up. So you really need to break the golden pocket though. That is where our shorter term time frame resistance is as well. We are looking a little bit toppy on that 1 minute. 15 minute also looking a little bit iffy there. Bearish divergence, sideways momentum, and some curvature. So don't really know much more than the shorter term time frame here. Would look to see if you can break 1173 after breaking that golden pocket. If not, looking back towards our lows down here at about $10 ish. So that's what I got for Folks token. Thanks for everyone tuning on in today. I know it's been a little while. It is glad to be back. I will be doing some stuff in the Discord as well, so appreciate everyone tuning on in today. We've got 2 other shows on the Piper Academy. We will see if OC is back today. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But we've got our main show every single morning. That morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with Piper. So tune on into that one. We've got a lot of macro news to break down. Kind of teased a little bit of that stuff going on at the Fed. We'll see if they can make up their minds. But until next time, I will see you guys in the chat. You'll be redirected right over to Alexo Crypto after the song ends. So I will see y'all over there.
let's run it. Charts up, we love it. Backpack, we done it. GM, good morning, we run it. Sunrise hits like a highlight reel. Coffee poured, yeah, this grind feel real. Wallet looking healthy like a post-gym meal. Crypto fam locked in, no off-day deals. Throwing shade, now we throw confetti. Market bounce back, hand strong, we steady. Dreams too big, so the doubts feel petty. Bull mode hitting, hope you're ready. We ain't stressing, we pressing, blessing the session. Turn every rejection to fuel for progression. Charts look clean, yeah, the vibe is a weapon. We build every day, this is compounding lessons. GM, we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Another day up, yeah, we glow. Hands to the sky like let's get paid. Chase big goals, not just upgrades. GM bull energy all day. Smile up, we're built this way. No fear, just flips and vibes. Turning old dreams into real life strides. Hard days hit, we don't divide. Team eats together when the market rides. Tap in early, that sunrise hustle. Bear tried to break us, couldn't touch muscle. Stack small wins, that's compound muscle. Every new block, another flex, no struggle. Climb fast, no breaks, no doubt. Big cheers when the green breaks out. Crypto fam in the chat, full shout. We don't clock in, we break out. Oh! 3 a.m. we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Every candle's just fuel, let's blow. We don't watch life, we make waves. Another sunrise, another brave day. GM fam, let's go be great. Good morning, crypto, press play. Wake up, smile.